name's Tara, or Dactyl, and today we are starting a brand new Dinkum Island. I've already got our base tent from Fletch, so let's find a good place to set this down. First, what I'd like to do is mark somewhere close to the center of the map and then head that direction. Once we get there, I'll scope out the area and figure out where the best place for Town Hall will be. So over here, I found a naturally spawned raised platform that I figured would be the perfect place for our Town Hall. So first things first, start to remove the plants and the rocks that might be in the way, and then we can begin forming the area for Town Hall. I ended up forgetting that I had a compactor on me, so I was digging up with a shovel like I do on my other islands, but for this island in particular, I want to play in creative mode so that I can build a lot faster and just be able to create. I don't always have time to grind out the items for a particular build, so my other islands are still very much in beginning stages, and I wanted to start a new island and just be in creative mode. So now that we have the shape, I'm adding one more layer to the top. I do like my town hall to be raised above the sidewalks and the roads. Town hall is a pretty important building. It's the building that guests arrive in when they're visiting your island. And when you first walk out the tent, or once you upgrade it, those doors of Town Hall, it's the first view you see of the town. So I decided to go with a hardwood plank path for the base to go underneath, because once you upgrade the base tent into Town Hall, the colors match really well. Now, what you don't see is that I spent a lot of time trying to decide what steps to use. I really wanted to use the cement, however, it wasn't matching up with the hardwood plank path very well. It was leaving a gap and bothering me. So I went with the palm wood steps instead, and this is where we're going to set down our base tent. So once that is placed and we're happy with it, we're going to go ahead and start placing down what I think my sidewalks would look like. I really like the idea of cement sidewalks, and I wanted it too wide so that if I wanted to place any street lamps or anything, we could still walk along the sidewalk around them. So I'm going to extend this side here. I do want to place a parking lot on this side in the future, so I'm trying to figure out how wide to make this so that we can still have some space next to Town Hall up top. So we're going to try this out first. Spoiler alert, it's not big enough. So we're gonna go ahead and just go with it for now, but we'll fill all this in, make it the same height as the town, where the town hall is. So I decided to name my island Tithonia. It's a little nod to the era when pterodactyls were alive. Since it's a play on my nickname, the channel's called Dactyl Plays. I figured it was the easiest way for me to know which island I needed to log into when I wanted to work on stuff for the channel. So the island name is Tithonia, and once Town Hall is upgraded, it'll be on the front building. So here is where I begin to realize that this area is not quite large enough on top. So we are going to first remove these stairs over here. so that we can expand this way one. And now the stairs line up pretty well with the width of Town Hall. And it's still not big enough, so we're going to eventually remove that cement sidewalk down at the bottom. So for now, I realized that I need to have a border along the back as well, because I didn't want the hardwood planks on the outside facing the river. So we're gonna go ahead and print the border along the back, and then this is where we're going to start removing this cement path. So now, once we start to print this border, we'll do the exact same thing on the other side. So you'll see I remove these steps again and make it even. And then I'll go over here and count how many spaces I need so that it's symmetrical on both sides. I'm going to be getting a lot of inspiration for this island from where I currently live. And it's just going to be your typical city vibes, but kind of suburbs, since I live in the suburbs. So I'm gonna have pretty wide streets and planters and center dividers and things. Lots of trees. That is one thing that I wish we had more of where I live. There's not too many trees around, and the ones that we have aren't very big, so I'm gonna definitely be making use of the trees in the game to decorate. So here we're gonna finish laying down our hardwood pathing to finish kind of the inside platform next to Town Hall. And then once that's finished, we're going to switch over to the cement path and create that wall I was talking about. I really did not like the way that the sidewalk was right up against the wall and basically blending in. So we'll change that a little bit later to where there's some separation between the cement blocks. So here, after I finish some daily chores and it's a little bit later in the day, what I'm gonna do is remove all these rocks so that I have some more room to work over here. Like I said, it's all going away in the future anyways, because I want to build a parking lot for our town hall and the utes and motorcycle items that we have in the game. So what we're going to do is remove this cement path that's right up against the wall there. And instead, we're going to leave a space for a planter. So this is where our sidewalk will be. Again, I'll make it too wide for any decorative needs in the future. And we'll extend it on this other side as well and just create a large U shape around the town hall so that we can maneuver and have plenty of options for directions to build in the future. So we're going to continue down this way, keeping that same idea with the space for the planters, get some energy back, and clear a little bit more out of the way. I'm not sure how long I want this sidewalk to be, so I ended it there and finished making the sidewalks too wide. So now that the sidewalks are complete, I want to put a fence above where the wall is going to be for Town Hall. So I really wanted to use this marble fence with the hedges. However, it was just too much green, and I wanted some variety. So I tried the iron cement fence and immediately hated it. So I tried out just all marble fence. It was a little plain, but I wasn't quite sure if that was the look I wanted or not. So I'm gonna go to this other side and use the iron cement fence in all the corners, and then I'm gonna place down the hedges in between. And I really ended up liking the way that this looked. You had some greenery, but also more of a traditional type fence. And I liked how when you came down to the bottom, you could kind of see in between the iron fence, so that you could see kind of what was up there without walking all the way up there. So I walked back and forth quite a few times trying to decide which one I liked better, and ultimately the iron cement fence with the hedges won. So I'm going to finish placing all of the fencing in the same pattern on this side that I did on the left there, and fill this all in so that now when you're walking up here you won't accidentally fall off for some reason and break an ankle. So now we're going to fill in the planter with some furgrass seeds. I really like how bright green this grass is, and it matches the hedges really well. So that's the color I decided to go with. And what I'm trying to figure out here is what I'm going to do for lighting, because it's going to get dark and it's really hard to see in the dark. And cities have lights, towns have lights, so that's what I'm figuring out at first. So I wanted to try the couple different lights, actually. The wooden lamp was one, the street lamp was one, and then the garden light was one. So the wooden lamp matches the palm wood planks really well. So I tried putting them here, and I liked the look of it, but I really wanted to put trees in those corners to add even more greenery and to frame out the space. So then I was trying to decide, okay, well, where else can I put them? And I knew if I put them here, they were going to connect with the other fences. So instead, I placed the street lamp there, and that's going to be the look that we go with. The street lamps are really classic, typical kind of city lamp, and I was going to place them on the corners as well, but I decided to go with the garden light on the corner. You typically in planters find the small versions of whatever lighting is in the area. Much smaller helps light up the plants and give the pathways a little bit of lighting. So that's the look that I'm going for. And now I'm trying to decide which trees I want to use, because I really love the blackwood trees, but I also thought that the lily-pilly trees would look really good with the hedges and give it that prim and proper landscape type of vibe. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did earlier and plant the blackwood seeds on this side, and then I'll end up doing the lily-pilly seeds on the other side so that I can compare the two and decide which trees I'm going to use from there. That's the nice part about creative mode, is you can do a lot of trial and error to figure out what the right look for your area is without having to worry about wasting resources. So another plus to using the creative mode. I also realized that I would probably want a planter along the back, and little did I know there was a rock there, so I'll fix that later, as you'll see. But for now, I'm going to plant these trees so that they can begin growing and I can decide which ones I want to use. So we'll fill in these with the seeds so that it all looks like one connected grass area again. Extend the sidewalk just a little bit, and I was trying to decide between the trees here, but they were too small. So as it got later, I did end up printing along the back and planting grass seeds there so I can do some more trees along the back in the future. And I decided to add more garden lights on these corners since I really liked them in the front corners. I would do the same along the back just to add some additional lighting. I'm also trying to decide what I should put in between the trees and the planters, but for now we'll continue working on some lighting. So I was having a hard time lighting the area without getting too much overlap between each of the lights. So the best solution was to just put another lamp in the opposite corner up top, and that gave me the amount of lighting that I was looking for. So that's the look that we're going to go with. You can also see that I was playing with some ideas with the flower boxes and the flower pot, trying to figure out what the best layout for a nice little seating area up top would be. So again, I used the idea of, well, let me create something on one side and something else on the other and see which one I like better. So once I find some different items, I go ahead and place the flannel flower in the flower box, and I really liked the way that those popped up behind the hedges, the way that they do, and the white was super classic. That pot was just too big for what I was kind of going for. I really liked the smaller version as well, but for the area, it just ended up not being what I was looking for. So then I'll start looking through some furniture and different options there. I end up with this couch. I can't pronounce that first word. I'll mess it up and y'all will make fun of me, so I'm not gonna do it. But you'll see here that I ended up picking this flower box with the flannel flowers, and I was having a hard time selecting what item to put in that corner, but the post box worked really well. I was really happy with the way that it looked, and you know, Town Hall might have a couple of post boxes out front so you can send letters, pay bills, whatever you need to do. So it worked out, and we're gonna add some additional items on the opposite side, and I was trying to figure out where to put the couches. So I mimicked the flower boxes and then ended up putting the couch right in front, like so. Yep, just like that. And then I couldn't figure out which chair to use, so I ended up going with this one that matched the couch, and I really liked the way that it was really tying in the palm wood colored boxes and stairs, so I was really enjoying the way that this area was turning out. I then figured that we would need a table of some sort set anything down, you would have those. So I picked up a couple different ones to try. I tried the table that matched the set first, and it was just too much of the same. So I placed down the white table and really liked the way that brought in the white flowers. This long white coffee table I wanted to use so bad, but without there being half tile placement, it wasn't going to center and it just wasn't going to work out, at least there. I do end up using them later for something a little bit different. So again, we're gonna look through the items and grab what we need to do the same thing on the other side. And I did decide to put the butterfly orchid pot on the table. It brought in just a little bit of pop of pink to go with the area and wasn't too much of the same white flower. So these tables, like I said, I was going to use. So here I created almost a buffet type style table where you can come get your coffee in the morning, have a cheese platter with your coffee. I don't know who does that, but I know people that do, so to each their own. But that was going to be the little setup, so it could be kind of a cool place to hang out, grab a snack, and have some coffee while looking at the river. So we're gonna eventually put the same items on the other side as far as the couches and the chairs so that it looks the same, but it'll be slightly different because I'm not going to create another buffet table on this side. I do have another idea in mind that we'll go over a little bit later. In the meantime, if you're enjoying this video, hopefully you get some ideas for your own island if you play Dinkum. And yeah, if you like it, please think about subscribing. I'm planning on putting out videos at least once a week to start. I do have a full-time job that I still have to go to every week, but in my free time, I am going to try and create videos so that I can be consistent and put my ideas out there. I watch a lot of creators that have inspired me to do certain builds, and if you have any builds that you'd like to see my take on, leave a comment and I'll take a look at them, and if any of them spark any interest, I'll definitely build them on this island and make a video out of it. So now that both sides look the same, other than the buffet table, I felt like there was something missing from the center of where all the seating is. So I was going to try and make a rug with the red cloth path or the red carpet path. So I started with the red carpet path on one side and the red cloth path on the other, and determined I liked the idea of the red cloth path the best. So I filled up the space, and it just wasn't quite what I was looking for. It definitely added a little bit to the build, but it wasn't quite the look I was going for. So then I was going to try this other couch that has the red accent pillows to tie in more of the red hues, but with the dark wood, that was a little bit too much. So I switched back to the other couch that we had, and I ended up getting rid of the carpet. I just wasn't quite sold, and maybe one of you likes it, and it's a cool idea for a build in the future. I'll definitely be using that path for something else. I have some other ideas, but for this particular build, it just wasn't the right look. So I put the flooring back, and we're gonna sleep so that when we get to the next day, I'm gonna put the bulletin board over here. So I started by putting it next to the flower boxes, and I thought, well, the buffet table is kind of on the side of the tent, so let me try that over here. And it just didn't quite look right. When I go down to the sidewalk here in a second, I did not like the gap that was left between the board and the tent, so I ended up putting it back to where I had it in the first place, and that completed the area for me. I was really liking how it was turning out. I was still trying to decide between the two different trees, even though the blackwood trees weren't quite fully grown yet. But it was definitely a really difficult decision to decide between the two. And so to end the video, I'm gonna finish off this path, hopefully in the right combination now. There we go, the cement. And that's where we're gonna end it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.